Peace, everyone. Welcome back to Space Invaders TV. I'm your host, Rashawn, aka Looker. Peace and blessings to all of you. It is actually Wednesday night, uh, September the 22nd, 2021, and as you may see in the title, we're gonna touch on a couple of different things because, as I always said, I talk about local, national, and world events and issues. And so right now tonight to kick off this this segment, I want to talk about we're going to talk about Haiti, and I want to talk about the 10 civilians that were killed in Kabul, outside of Afghanistan, by our own U.S. troops, and also I'm going to get into the local, which is speaking about um, Greensboro and Guilford County and the school system. Um, so let's get it rocking. So right now, as we know, there's thousands that have fled from Haiti, um, trying to get to the United States, and just some of the images that I've been seeing is heartbreaking, man. You know, you seeing guys on horses, as you may see them as you may see the pictures down here below. But you seeing border patrol on horses and with whips. The people of Haiti, they're just trying to seek a better life. They've been really, I mean, a lot of the countries outside of the U.S. really go through it, but Haiti has been going through it for years. And then, just not to mention the devastation that happened to their country just a few weeks ago, the flood and everything like that. So, I mean, and it's like every year, almost every year, Haiti gets hit, hard with uh, hurricanes or whatever, tornadoes, whatever, and they get flooded out, man. And you have to feel for the people of Haiti, and to see those images of our own Americans. Now I understand the laws and everything that people shouldn't you need to try to come into the country the right way. But when we see people like not only the Haitian people, but when you see people like the Mexican, when you see them fleeing by the thousands, and they're risking it all, and they got their children with them, and they're trying to get into this country, we got to have a heart. One thing, and it's like, how can we do these things to these people if we are a blessed nation, right? And we have many flaws, many flaws, but we're not gonna touch on that right now. We're gonna stay right here. How can you deny people that are fleeing their country for a better life, and they're leaving with nothing but their children, nothing but them, just them. They're coming, and they're coming by the thousands. How can we mistreat them? You see the images. You see the images where they're holding the people from Haiti. they're holding them in like look like cages. They're under a bridge. You know, you seen the images where you see two gentlemen um like just with food in their hand. So they're going across the water back into Mexico to get food, from my understanding, and they have food, and they're trying to whip them. Our own Border Patrol, our U.S. Border Patrol, are seen with whips. What the hell is wrong with you people? And just not even that, the things that they've done uh, to the Mexican brothers and sisters as well, and those children that were held up. Could any American can even imagine your child being stripped away from you and being in an asylum, a 5-year-old stripped away from their mother and in harsh conditions, you know. And I've seen so many comments about that, you know, when that was going on, and that was under the watch of Donald Trump. Yeah, you know how cold-hearted you have to be, and the comments that I would see following those incidents was just sickening, you know. But what's also funny, the same people that we see make those comments, those are the same people that even if they thought they were wronged in their own country for whatever reason, they're gonna go haywire. So not even to mention if that happened to your own child. So what I say right now is my blessings are with my Hispanic brothers and sisters, my Haitian brothers and sisters, and I pray that this country get it together. I pray that y'all find a way, because even our brothers and sisters in in the Saudi country, what they like to say, third world countries, we are bringing Afghan people over by the loads, and we're giving them asylum here. We're giving them freedom here. We're flying them over. I understand that, but if you're gonna do that, you have to find a way. At least reach out to the allies that we have and see what they can do for those who are trying to enter our country. I understand that we have to vet people that want to enter the country. They're not citizens. I understand that, but we also have to understand that if we are going around the world and our chest out as the biggest and baddest country and this, that, and the third, others countries that don't have those liberties as our people in this country, you have to understand that they're gonna want to flee and come to this country for a better life. So I understand that, okay, yeah, they must do it the right way, but when you're back against the wall and when you don't know nothing else to do, these people are coming across waters, they're dying literally to get here to this country. And the images that I've seen is just heartbreaking, man, and it's sad. And I hope that this country, I hope the Biden administration, because this is going on under your watch, you know, and it's gonna be blood on your hands, you know, Biden and your administration and Kamala Harris. This is your time, because y'all still haven't done what y'all needed to do for, you know, for the African Americans. It's a lot of bills that you signed off. You didn't sign off on the bills that you need to sign off on. But here's another challenge for your administration, Biden. Now it's time to put up or shut up. And now it's time for you to step up, in your administration. So, peace and blessings go out to the people of Haiti and any of our Haitian massive that may see this, that are in this country and are citizens, and you're watching this. My blessings go out to you and your family, because we know how the Haitian people, and I've grown up around them, so I know I've grown up around Hispanics, so I know, like, very proud people, like most nationalities, they're proud of their heritage and everything, proud people, and no matter what, even with all that what Haiti has been through, they are still proud people, and they still rep their country, still, despite it all. But when you see somebody fleeing by the thousands with their children on their backs, you gotta know that is something. It's no other choice. They doing what they gotta do, and they risking it all. They lost it all, so they risk it. What else could they lose? Really. So I just pray that that United States, you fix it, you get it right. Even if it takes to reach out to the allies. If we can't let these people into our country, then what do we have allies for? We help out everybody else. Why can't our allies help out and do favors? I guess you guys do the favors that you want done. But it's time, Biden, to put up or shut up. Here's another challenge to your administration right now, because you're really failing on your promise of what you said to the people. So there's another challenge for you. But I'm gonna move on from that, and I want to talk about the drone attack about a week or so ago that killed 10 civilians in Kabul. It's right outside of, Afghanistan, which is Kabul is the capital, Afghanistan's capital. To just shorten it up, supposedly U.S. troops were watching and following a vehicle that they believe that has something to do with the bombing at the airport in Kabul. So they thought this one vehicle was someone that was part of that. So they followed this vehicle for hours, and he went to various places, but he wasn't doing anything. He was a family man. He wasn't doing anything. He worked for a U.S. company in Kabul, and he was doing nothing but pretty much like running errands. And one thing led to another. Our U.S. troops believed that he was picking up water bottles. The last one of his last stops, he was picking up water bottles. Somehow they thought that those water bottles were like, and I'm talking about, the jug water bottles, the jugs of water, I should say, not water bottles. Somehow they thought that was some type of bombs or something. Like I don't know how that all got confused, but they bombed. They used a drone and to take out his car. But when they hit him, it was a tank behind him, and that really set off. And they, for some reason, they thought when they hit. Let me get so I can let you guys know. I'm gonna start it right here. The Pentagon acknowledges mistakes. The strike on August 29th came days after suicide bombing near the airport claimed by ISKP, which is the Islamic State um, of. My computer is freezing up. Which is the Islamic State of what do they say? Khorasan Province. That's what ISKP mean. The Islamic State of Khorasan Province. What was I here? So the strikes on August 29th came days after a suicide bombing near the airport claimed by ISKP killed at least 175 people, including 13 U.S. servicemen. The U.S. pulled all of its forces from Afghanistan by the end of last month as the Taliban took over the country, capturing Kabul in mid-August. U.S. troops, which remain in control of the airport in Kabul as the Taliban took control of the capital, conducted a massive and chaotic evacuation operation to airlift American citizens, third country nationals, and Afghan allies. So, yeah, that bombing, they thought that this gentleman was part of that, which in turn, when they bombed him, they wound up killing 9 others, including children, um, which was a sad thing. And the United States is making, they're gonna right their wrongs, and but it's just a sad thing. And apology, I mean, they followed this gentleman, and he weren't even part of anything. He was just a family guy, and everybody said he was just a family guy. Him and his family was planning to come to the States. They were planning to come to the United States. Um, like I said, he worked for. The sources say that he worked for a U.S. company there in Kabul, and so his employers, their employer was, spoke highly of him as well. So that was just a sad situation. And I know at times this is like some say, oh, it's a casualty of war, but we gotta, with all the intel and everything, it's just still sad because it's like you had drones and you followed this gentleman for 8 hours, and then for that, you know, how did you go wrong? You know, with all the technology and intel, how did you go wrong? I know it's still being thoroughly investigated. Um, I know I have my feelings, and I feel, like somebody, you know, may have felt like, because when 175 were killed at the airport in Kabul, 13 of them were U.S. troops. So it could have been some type of hothead within that was a part of that drone attack, and may have looked at it as some type of, you know, get back. I don't know, but that's when I read, we can't play stupid with that. So peace and blessings be with that family, and I hope that all the families that lost someone in that drone attack by our own U.S. troops. I hope that those families get justice, um, and I hope that the U.S. make right with them, because that was a sad story, you know. But moving on, um, so moving on is to kind of pick it up a little bit. Um, So remember we talked about what some weeks ago talked about restart schools and we often when we talk about the restart schools and talking about schools in Guilford County, right? And how Sharon Contreras, is a dozen restart schools. And to be quite honest with you, majority of them are in uh, predominantly black and Latino neighborhoods. That's where the schools are at, the districts, like predominantly black and Latino. And remember I told you how Sharon Contreras is part of the Broad Academy. She is alumni. You can look that up, Broad Academy. Um, which Broad Academy is a part uh, of Yale now. They paid their way into that because Broad Academy is not. They weren't certified or anything like that. I believe they pay for the certification, but they try to latch on to certain other organizations as well. But so we talked about the restart schools, and it was like, well, all of a sudden now, we talking about restart schools, and why, she said the restart schools because those schools were failing, and I'm like, when we never heard this before. When all of a sudden now you want to claim, you know, you got restart schools. We start hearing it for 2021. You didn't hear this in 2020. Didn't hear it in 2019. It wasn't vocal at all. But now, all of a sudden, we hear about restart schools. And that's why certain schools, if your child was in a school in Guilford County and they went back a week earlier than the other children, that your child's school is a restart school, and you can go to the Guilford County Schools website and you can look up and you can see if your child's school is actually one of the so-called restart schools. So I was doing some other research and I found some things, and it's actually come from schoolrestarts.org, and it talks about what is a restart school, what is a restart actually, and why do it. What is a restart? Restart is defined as a closing one underperforming school and opening a new school to serve the same students, often in the same building, under new management. Restarts represent a more dramatic intervention compared with internal school turnaround initiatives and preferable alternative to closing schools when students do not have access to other quality options. Restarts should not be initiated as a last ditch effort to avoid closure of a district or charter school, but as a proactive strategy that authorizers can initiate when the conditions are right. The authorization process guide clarifies the U.S. Department of Education's definition of restart to include the following elements. So listen to this, folks. District and charter school restart intervention can be implemented for both low-performing district schools and charter schools. New school operator. Restart schools are authorized through the contractual arrangements that substantially transfer management and staffing of the school to a new organization. New school governance. Most restarts will require change in school governance, although some exceptions occur. Serving the same students. Current students and the low-performing schools being closed are guaranteed enrollment in the newly established school of schools. Single-site subdivided or consolidated schools. One or more low-performing schools may be closed and restarted one or more schools by one or more new schools. I'm going to read that again. Single-site subdivided or consolidated schools. One or more low-performing schools may be closed and restarted by one or more new schools. There does not have to be a 1-1 correspondence. some or nearby facility. The facility of a closing school is typically used as the home for the new school, but some restarts can include a transition to a new facility that is near the closing school. Whole school and phase in restarts. The new school may open to serve all grades at once upon opening, whole school, or may serve some subset of grades in year one and add additional grades in subsequent years. Why restart? Restarts have led to swift and dramatic improvements in low performing schools when a high performing organization leads the new school. A system or in place to facilitate a smooth transition and strong community in comparison with other school intervention strategies. Restart can be the best option to make rapid gains in student achievement. Authorizers will need to establish restart policies and practices that are best suited for their local operating conditions, such as supply of quality operators. Restart success depends largely on the organization that opens the new school. Ability to engage community. This process guide includes suggestions for how to authentically engage the community. School performance transparency. School intervention efforts generally and restart work specifically rely on consistent, transparent accountability systems that publish concise, understandable reports on school performance. Authorizer authority. State and local policies should provide a clear mandate about the urgency for school intervention and the appropriate authority to implement restarts in chronically low performing schools. So that's in a nutshell why and what is a restart school. As I said, you can go to school restarts with an S.org, and bang, it'll come up for you, and it'll tell you what a restart. It'll tell you, it'll be the same thing what I'm talking about right here. You'll see the page. That's what I'm reading off of. So with all of this right here, so you have to ask again, Contreras, what is your purpose for the restart school? What plan do you have? Because I don't understand how you opening up the school. You wanted the kids to go back a week earlier this school year here for 2021. You wanted them to go back a week earlier, the restart schools. But everyone's going to be out for a whole week at the end of October. So I'm trying to understand what the freak was the purpose. Like, you're going to be out a whole week in October. I kind of know why, because you probably got a shortage of, you're supposed to be a teacher work week or whatever like that. Yeah, so you're shutting the school down. First of that, I pretty much understand, but I know what they'll probably say before I go on. Oh, we're going to take that time to clean the schools. Right. You're shutting the schools down for a week because you're shorthanded on staff. So you don't have enough teachers to go around to help out like substitutes. So, because this is the first, you can't use that because you got the weekends. Nobody's in the school on the weekends, And now all of a sudden you want to clean up things. You had a whole year last year. The county called you out on it. I spoke about it already in the last video. The county called you out on it. You didn't have anybody in the school the whole time. You didn't have no maintenance workers in the school the whole time of 2020 during the height of the pandemic. There was nobody there in the schools. You didn't have any staff manning the schools. So now we want to play like we. So if that's gonna be the excuse, we're not gonna roll with that. What else? So now moving on. So that's what the restart school, like I said, ladies and gentlemen, go to school restarts with an S.org. And it will bring that up, what I just read for you. It'll bring it right up for you. So now, Greensboro and Guilford County together will be receiving $160 million total, $160 million from the pandemic relief. $160 million. So, and they're asking, what should they do? Now they're trying to open it up to the community and asking, like Greensboro or whatever in Guilford County, they want to know what should they do with the money. They're trying to get the public's opinion, but that's cool. That's cool. You're trying to get input, but how much of the citizens of Greensboro and Guilford County input you really gonna use? Because you guys really know what you can do with that money. There's a lot of things you can do with the money. First of all, what I believe you should do with the money is the county should give healthy raises to its workers. Yeah, and the city. Y'all getting that money, y'all should get healthy rate. Y'all should get some good raises to the workers and the county workers that were holding it down throughout the pandemic. You should give them raises. You know, that's only right. You know, because we haven't heard anything, and you got to think about the ones that are pushing the paperwork for people to get food assistance and making sure they're getting their bills paid and still making that happen. And then the garbage, the trash men. You can take care of them. Take care of your city workers and take care of your county workers. That's one thing you should do, Guilford County and Greensboro. That is one thing you should do. What else? I'm trying to read off things. And you should also make sure you're taking care of the small businesses, not just the small businesses, Greensboro, not just, and I'm speaking specifically for this one with Greensboro, not just the businesses downtown, okay? Because we all know how y'all is in that group together. The businesses downtown, y'all in this. So y'all, when y'all talked about small businesses throughout this pandemic to this date, Greensboro, I feel a smack in the face because I'm like, wow, you only talk about the businesses downtown. Y'all blocked off the streets. Y'all block off the streets, and y'all want people to spend money with the local business. When you say local businesses, you're just talking about downtown. What about encouraging the people of the city to shop all the small businesses around the city, not just downtown? All the small businesses, So when you get that money, Greensboro, don't just give up money to downtown, to the small businesses downtown. Make sure that you keeping it open for the businesses around this city, because I've paid attention and I've seen it almost every other weekend. Y'all were locking down downtown. You just did it a week ago. Y'all locked down downtown. Y'all barricade the blocks off and just want people to come walk up and spend money with those businesses as if how are y'all really were marketing the small businesses downtown, but not marketing the businesses around the city. I paid attention. I seen it. And I shook my head every time and I said, wow, that seems a little that seems like you picking sides, like you're choosing, like, oh, these the only small businesses, like is those the only small businesses that are keeping your city pumping? Those are the only small ones, and I'm not even gonna get into it, but all I'm saying is, Greensboro, when y'all get that money, y'all need to take care. Make sure y'all leaving money on the table for all small businesses, not just those few that's downtown Greensboro. Okay, you have many on the outskirts here, and you have many small business active in this city that's not brick and mortar, but they active out of the city, like my business as well. You have businesses here in this city, so make sure y'all take care of them. So Greensboro is getting meals and COVID-19 relief funds, and the county, and they're trying to figure out how to spend it. This article came out September the 17th this year, 2021. You know, and so Greensboro, like I said, they're trying to figure out ways to how can they spend it. One thing I will say in the county as well, don't give no money to Guilford County schools until you see them spending the money that you already put aside for. I'm talking to the county, the commissioners. Don't give Sharon Contreras and Guilford County Schools no more money until you guys start seeing her spend some money, because I'm pretty sure she's going to come running. If she ain't come running already, she's going to come running for some more money. Don't give it to her. Don't waste your time until you see her spending, because y'all done gave up enough money. Y'all done if my math and my memory serves me right, we could go back and y'all can all go back in my videos when I was running it down. You know, since the county has gave up the last piece of money, I wouldn't say piece because it was a large amount. The county, the last of some funding the county gave to GCS was $300 million out of a bond. Okay. Before that, late spring, early summer, $229 million was given. Okay? How much is that? $529 million that was given to Guilford County school system. When is she going to start tapping in and spending that money that the county gave us? So I say, don't give Contreras any more money until you see her starting to spend that money, till you guys see some receipts for work completed. That's all I say. And the county is a whole lot of things y'all could do, man. Y'all get money like that. In Greensboro, y'all get money like that. Y'all can lower some taxes. How about that? Y'all getting that type of money for the people. Let's be clear. You know, let's be clear. They're not just giving these cities and states this money just for them. They is giving for the people. So, if you're getting that type of money, I say, why don't you talk about cutting some taxes for the people? How about that? The county and the city. You know what I'm saying? But there's so many other things you guys can open up programs for the youth, places for them to be able to go and be creative. Let's bring back more programs that like we used to have, like the boys club, like really being active with it, like out there. Let's build some more of these youth centers where the kids can go and be creative. Let's do that. You know, because most of these kids, they're stuck. They like being glued to the computers or glued to the games, playing these video games, because there's nothing else. You got to pay for your kid to actually get some enjoyment out here around Guilford County. It's nothing really for these children to do, and we need to create something for these kids to do. So you got the money. I would say pass it on to the groups and organizations that are for the youth and for developing the programs for the youth and everything. Get with these advocate groups, you know, and hear them out, because we need things for the youth. You got shootings going on every freaking other night. And there's a shooting in this city here in Greensboro. You know, and it's not all the youth, but sometimes the youth are involved in them. We have to give some things for these children to do, and having some real quality workforce, like training these youth for the workforce. You know, a real center for these children so they could come to. And I would love to be a I would love to train and teach at somebody's class like that to show these youth how to, how to dress for an interview, how to carry themselves, grooming themselves, um, helping them to put together their resumes and knowing what certain questions are, how to prepare themselves for interviews and things of that nature. You know, so even though now, yeah, if they're doing interviews through a Zoom, still they're still looking at you, and still you still need to make eye contact. You still need to be able to speak up more so now than even in person, because you're speaking, so that you need to speak clear, project your voice. You know, body language is everything. So yeah, we need more programs like that. Not only for the youth, for the adults too. You know, so we need more for these children, um, and take care of the homeless population. Yeah, take care of the homeless population. Those those are just some of the things that need to be dealt with. Um, yeah, those are some of the things that need to be dealt with. You know, the homeless population, training up people to go on and be productive out here, to not have to lean on the system so much, to be able to get up out of the system and do something with their lives. Um, programs for the youth, programs for the youth. Um, so with all of that money, Greensboro, 160 million between Greensboro and the Guilford County, that's a lot of money. And yeah, that's cool that you're asking the city. You want to try to open it up to the city. That's cool. But when you guys ask for that money, you only got 5 years, I believe, to spend it. So you guys ask for that money. You guys know what you need to do with that money. So do right by it. But hey guys, that's my time. I just wanted to touch on those topics there, and just give y'all something to think about. Um, and as I said before, um, peace and blessings to the people of Haiti, and I hope that our country and the Biden administration gets it right. Um, that is heartbreaking to see guys on horses beating these folks defenseless. They got food in their hands and they're getting whipped. Nothing that doesn't look good for this country, man. I mean, all the other things we got going on, we got other things, we got some serious stuff going on within our country, amongst the citizens here. But come on, man. Like, when is it gonna when is all of this gonna stop, man? You know, it's some real hatred. I mean, we got the wrong people doing some of these jobs. We got the wrong people, you know. And I'm just gonna end it like this. Like I said before, this COVID really, really has pulled back the sheet on a lot of things in this country, other than what we already knew that was like right blatantly in our face on the surface. But it's really pulled back the curtain, and you're really seeing folks showing their ass, and really they're showing their true colors. And it ain't the red, white, and blue. They're showing their true colors, man. And so I just pray, and I pray for Hispanic brothers and sisters, you know, of Mexico, and those children that still misplaced from their parents. Let's not forget about that neither. Those Hispanic children that are misplaced from their parents. Let's not forget about that. Okay. And yeah, and the 10 civilians in Kabul, the capital of Afghanistan, that were killed in a drone attack. Prayers go out to those 10 families that endured that at the hands of our U.S. troops. Prayers of which you peace and blessings to everybody. But yeah, and everyone here on a local level talking about the schools, make sure you tap in with schoolsrestarts.org, and then you will get the whole breakdown of what the Restart School, what it's about, why, it's done, and everything. And it is to help you understand too what I've all been saying about, and when you read that, and then if you tap into the Broad Academy, then you'll understand everything that I've been saying when it comes to that Broad Academy. Then you'll see that whole train of thought is like intertwined right there. Like, that is, you want to pretty much shut down one school. You want to claim that this school is a low performing school so you can shut it down. And let's be clear here. Contreras has been trying to shut down schools. She tried the Gateway, she tried to shut that school down, for the special needs children. And like I said, she's heartless for that. And so, like, the 3 schools that were hit in a tornado in Greensboro, Irwin Montessori, Peeler, and Hampton Elementary Schools. Those schools still sit dormant. They're just sitting. 2 of them. The other one was really bad off. But they're just sitting. No work been done. Meanwhile, all of those children are displaced still from Irwin Montessori, Peeler, and Hampton. They are all displaced in other schools. They're sharing schools somewhere else in the city here, okay? And so when you read the Restart, it sounds familiar. Sounds real familiar. But yeah, folks, that's my time here. I'm your guy, Rashawn. And I hope I wasn't all over the place for you guys, but I just wanted to touch on these different issues because they're things that are really hot topics. When you talk about people fleeing and trying to get into this country that's been going on for years, and really so more now than ever when the pandemic hit and you got people trying to come into the country, fleeing their own country. Education, it's a hot topic. It's always a hot topic. And the things that always been hot topics, they're really at the forefront now since the pandemic. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's my time. I'm your guy, Rashawn. It's all about the students. Student lives matter. Until next time, y'all be safe.